Case that shook our community, and it also gripped the nation with media coverage from around the country, all eyes on Huntington County.
In 1966, 17-year-old Peggy Ann Bradnick was abducted from her home in Shade Gap. Bradnick, who survived the ordeal, is speaking out 57 years later about her abduction and how it changed her life. Here's Morgan Koziar.
It's just etched in my brain. I'll never forget it. This is where it all began.
Peggy Ann Bradnick is standing in the spot where she was taken while walking home from her bus stop with her brother and sisters over 57 years ago.
This is the tree that he come jumping out onto the road from.
She remembers hearing her father shouting out, crying as he searched for her.
I want my daughter. If there's any way in the world to get her.
I heard Dad just scream into the top of his lungs in a voice that I never heard before.
The killer threatening her to not make a sound.
And he said, you answer him and your head gets blown off. And he stuck that gun right here, and then he stuck another gun in my mouth, and he said, you answer him and you die.
Her kidnapping made national news, and at the time was the largest manhunt in U.S. history.
Some 400 men, most of them armed, have joined in the search for Peggy Ann Bradnick.
She was taken by ex-convict and former mental health patient William Hollenbaugh.
Police say descriptions of the kidnapper seem to match that of a sniper who has plagued the area. Local residents call him the Mountain Man.
Hollenbaugh kept Peggy as his prisoner for 8 days, chained to his side. An attack that Peggy says he thoroughly thought out.
The missing girl is 5'2", 118 pounds, has dark brown hair and blue eyes. She was wearing a red jumper, a white blouse, and suede shoes.
He planned it. He had acted out on it for 3 years. I was like the 5th or 6th person that he attempted to abduct. And he watched me for 3 years. He made that very known to me.
What are some of those key things that you remember about him?
He was very, very violent, and he was a killer. He truly was. He had no compassion, none whatsoever. And I was a human shield for him, always first, always first.
After those 8 long days, walking more than 100 miles barefoot with little food or water, Peggy Ann was safely rescued near burnt cabins. Her kidnapper, William Hollenbaugh, shot and killed, but not before he managed to shoot and kill FBI agent Terry Anderson.
You never thought to fight back?
Yes, I thought about it, but it wasn't feasible, and I knew that. Acting out at that point with him after I'd seen so many horrible things that he had done was not an option.
Surviving with only minor cuts and bruises, the emotional scarring is what's left. However, Peggy hasn't let this situation define her. In fact, through her faith, she's made peace with it.
I've always wished that things could have been different. And that I mean that Hollenbaugh could have survived. I know people would say, that's crazy, why do you think that? And I always felt that if I could have just had the opportunity to let him know that someone truly cared, maybe his life would have been turned around.
Peggy says she doesn't let the memories haunt her, although they are still ones she carries with her every day. We'll have her message to the man she credits as being her hero 57 years after her abduction. That story on WTAJ News at 6 Wednesday night.